What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. Today's video, we are addressing the fact that I, Journo, hates the very content that I cover. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, folks, please take the time to do so. Check out all the links in the description below as well. But let's get into this video. So this is coming off the heels of a week-long conversation going back and forth regarding the Marvel Rivals and the conversation that Swaggle and I, among many other people now, have been discussing the role of the video game Marvel Rivals and how the speculation around it is moving first appearances of all these characters. I mean, Key Collector app now has its own category for the first appearances of all these characters and any key related to the video game. And I made a couple videos talking about, one, the people buying these books are speculators and flippers and FOMO buyers, and it has nothing to do with the youth translating into buying comic books. And I also talked about how the current state of the floppy market, which is not back issues. This is something that I think many people misunderstood. I said the floppy comic is on life support, and I'm talking about the modern week-to-week published comic book. Okay, I'm not talking about secondary market as a whole. Although the only thing that I brought up about the secondary market was the fact of who's buying these books. You know, kids are getting in the IP. It's not getting them into bringing their interest into the floppy comic. So I'm not going to really talk about that today because I want to focus on one specific thing. I do plan on doing a live stream very soon, maybe even a couple, to dive deeper into that conversation. But I want to bring up this comment right here that, good friend of the channel, Brian from Beyond Wednesdays, always respected him. I've had him on the channel a couple times. Always had good conversations with him. He did a live stream, brought on some individuals that discussed these issues that we talked about. And clearly, I felt certain individuals were missing the point of what I was saying. But overall, it was a good conversation. And this individual right here left a comment, and I want to read our back and forth. And my last reply is basically the sum of this video, to where I don't even need to rant too much after that. And I think it's very important for you guys to hear what I had to say. So here we go. Journo has reached the point in his content creation path where he hates the very content he covered. Let me highlight that, where he hates the very content that he covers. I'm sorry, but his stuff is unwatchable at this point. There's a market for it, but it is not for me. Okay. First off, I do not hate the very content that I covered, but let's go into my response. So I first say this, folks. This argument is like someone that loves their country and addresses the issues that are present in order to better his country. And people yell at him saying, well, why don't you just leave the country then? Right? I love comics so much that I don't need to hide behind the fear of losing my childhood nostalgia. The primary market for floppy comics is dying, and it's being kept alive by speculators and variant collectors, and that is a statistical fact, like it or not. So, if you love comics for any reason and don't want them to die out, again, specifically the modern primary market comic that gets bought up by the distributors, that gets released on every Wednesday. If you don't want them to die out, at least on the primary market, that's what I'm talking about. Thank a dirty flipper, a FOMO speculator, and a variant collector, love and light. So again, I think what this individual is pointing at, where he says, I hate the very content that he covers. So what have I talked about lately? Okay. I've talked about the Marvel Rival stuff, which has addressed me saying that these kids aren't getting pulled into floppy comics. It's speculators and FOMO people and flippers, etc. The same middle-aged, demographic. I've talked about how the modern floppy comic is dying. It's on live support. I've talked about how I've done a few videos about how people are trying to sell their bulk modern collection for thousands and thousands of dollars and it's never going to sell in bulk like that. I even recently made a video about the Comic Pro Line bags splitting again, and I'm saying that this is just crazy. That could be seen as negative. I get it. But let's hear what he has to say next after my first reply. He says, I've been watching you for a long time, man. Your content has changed to be almost entirely negative. It's fine. And it's a very common transition that most content creators go through. If you enjoy it, keep doing it. I just don't have much interest in it personally. Okay, let me say this. First off, my stuff isn't negative. And I respond and I break this down, and there is no transition. Quite honestly, and those that follow my channel know that I've been through a lot of real serious personal issues the last year and a half, couple of years. Took a break from YouTube. Before that, I got involved in the whole C2E2 stuff, the Peach Momoko stuff, and I really had other content creators dropping my name in their mouth, beefing over comics. It's ridiculous because dare they ever say anything to my face in real life. I lost hundreds and hundreds of subscribers. The algorithm started just eating me up, and my channel was being affected by it because I continued to speak my mind, and I thought I was coming from a good place. I'm not a yes man, and I'm gonna call it how it is. My intent during that time was to bring unity to the community, and everyone else around me just wanted to be negative. And when I came back, when I took my hiatus because I went through all the personal stuff, and I came back, I said, I'm gonna stay out of it. When I came back, Sticky Goose on his channel was dropping my name in multiple videos. Then he did his roast video, and I didn't get involved at all. Quite honestly, I left comments on his videos when he edited me out of the roast video. I'm like, what? Now I feel hurt. Like, keep me in. I stayed out of all that because I realized that all this stupid drama, people beefing over comic books, it's garbage. It's not why I'm here. I'm here for the love of comics. So for this individual to simply say that my content has now just became all extremely negative, and it's very common, it's a common transition. Like, I'm out here trying to be a sticky goose where it's like, I'm just, riling everyone up, trying to be a sensationalist to perpetuate negativity and drama. Inaccurate, false. What I'm doing is getting back to what I love. And what I love is speaking on things that I think can better the hobby and that can educate people. So here we go. Let me break down my final reply. And this is the heart of this video. I respect your perspective and opinion, but I will humbly disagree. If you think that my content is negative, then you aren't truly listening, and you are missing the points that I'm making. Again, I do understand how it could be perceived that way, but I encourage you to open up your perspective and go back and listen to what I'm saying. And again, folks, this is all these videos, all these topics that I'm bringing up. Really listen. I'm empathetic to why it may seem negative, but really listen. Let me continue on. I'll even give you an example. Doing videos about how selling modern comics in bulk make those comics, quote unquote, worthless. Okay, that's one example. I'm not simply saying that comics have no value. It is all a matter of context. I'm actually educating people that in order to add value to your comics, especially modern comics, you can't sell in bulk. Break them down, break the collection down, sell in sets, sell in runs, etc., and maximize your revenue. So I ask, how is that negative? Telling collectors that when you sell in bulk, you only attract resellers, where the going market price for moderns is, on a good day, 10 cents a book. How is that negative? Telling collectors that not all comics have intrinsic monetary value because comics are inherently made to be read. Once again, I ask, How is that negative? So, do you see what I'm saying? Open your mind and really listen to what I am saying. The floppy comic is dying. And again, I'm speaking on the new primary market comics. It's dying. The data doesn't lie, and it's not an opinion. How is me saying this and bringing attention to this negative? Variants and speculators are the primary consumer of the modern floppy comic. How is saying this negative? And I'm going to pause right here, and it's like saying the murder rate for 2024 went up 24% in Oakland this year. Geez, Chris, like why is everything that you talk about negative? Like, because I'm bringing that up, it's a statistical fact. How is that negative? And maybe when I bring it up, it could shed light on, dang, well, we need to do something to bring that back down. Makes no sense, right? Let me continue on. I want us, those who love comics, to be proactive in slowing down the inevitable. How is that negative? The inevitable meaning, the technological age, paper and physical possessions being archaic, everything going digital and in the cloud and so forth, the Internet of Things. It's not just comic books. And it's not just a floppy comic. We're evolving. How is that negative? Saying kids aren't buying these books with the video game characters simply proves that we need more ways to get kids into comics. The video games aren't doing it. So we need more ways still. How is this negative? Saying that we can get kids into reading comic book material, but it doesn't have to be the floppy comic because they simply don't consume print media like that. How is that negative? Again, addressing problems that exist within something you love is not negative. Some of the things I'm addressing might be negative, but my dialogue perpetuates a conversation and an awareness that should wake the brains of those who love this hobby. Nothing I do is inherently negative, and if you see it as such, your good intentions may be paving the way to hell for the floppy comic. And what do I mean by that? Again, I've said this in my last couple of videos talking about the Marvel Rival stuff. We are being more of a detriment by ignoring the facts, thinking that we're scared of holding on to this, love of this nostalgia that we have. As soon as we realizing the numbers are dwindling more and more for the floppy primary market, the more we realize that the age group that collects comics is dying out and that less and less kids are getting into the floppy comic. The sooner we can have a conversation to prolong the inevitable, like I said, the sooner we can have a conversation to say, well, why we're alive, while the 35 to 65-year-old demographic is above ground. We have to be more proactive in ways to get kids into reading comics. And maybe that's the floppy comic, but again, it doesn't have to be. It could be trades. It could be digital. It could be Dogman type hardcover, readers. It could be getting them in the IP through the video games, animated movies. It could be all these things. But we're not doing our best to be proactive when we can simply say, oh, look, the video game's hot and the comics are selling. It's getting kid. No, stop. The kids aren't buying them. They're not asking their parents to buy them. And just because your child does it, that's not an indicator of an entire market, people. So, do I hate the very thing that I love, that I make content on? No. I love the very thing that I make content on, and I'm simply tired. Just quite honestly, guys, I'm tired of the hate. everyone is shifting blame. Everyone has a stick up their ass about what's wrong with comic books. You know, it's so funny. The people that want to come at me saying, oh, look at you, you're just being negative. They're the same people that say modern comics are garbage and they're woke and I don't even read them and all I do is collect Silver Age. They're the same people that are telling me that I'm wrong for saying what I'm saying right now. Well, if I'm wrong, what are you doing to support the modern primary floppy market? You're not, because I don't buy modern comics. I don't even read modern comics. So obviously you're not helping floppy stay alive. You know, the people that are mad at me right now are the same people that are mad at dirty flippers. Yet I want us all to coexist, because the dirty flipper and the speculator are pumping up primary market sales, or, you know, secondary market sales that are still bringing people into the comic book stores. The same people that are mad at me are the people that are mad at variants are ruining the hobby, but you refuse to realize that a majority of the revenue coming in to the primary market that are keeping the print machines running are your 40, 50 variants a damn issue. That's why I said, if you are one of the rare people that still has a pull list and reads the modern floppy comic from the primary market, thank a variant collector. And maybe it is just a Band-Aid, but damn, they're the reason why the presses are still running. Thank Comic Tom, because boy, has this guy freaking really pumped life into the hobby. Thank content creators. Thank Whatnot, even if you think it's a bunch of dirty flippers. And thank the LCSs that have survived this long, even if some of their practices are archaic. That's all I have to say, folks. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Be well, and until next time.